Mr. Manuel, in human capital development or human resources, they say employers employ people because they want to see an improvement. I believe one of my colleagues asking, if I might stick with that point, is what would you say you've added to make a difference between what was, that repeated thing, between what was and what is? For instance, Akwa Ibom State is believed to be a project state. So many projects going on back and forth, and some people are wondering, when would we see an end to all of this? Where we now begin to reap the fruits of it? That happens to fall within the purview of your office. How do you handle this, and what difference did you make?
Again, I still want to say something here, that it won't be so nice to take credit on anything. If you're asking what have you contributed so far, I take you back to probably what is on ground. And I give you that still same scenario again. You cannot actually say, let me take credit on anything that is happening on ground. As I said earlier, the art of governance, you know, this is democracy. And I mentioned initially about the 7 S's of management, the systems, the structure, the style, the shared values. And if you look at that and put that with the strategic thinking that I actually met on ground, so to come and implement tactical plans when you already have a well-laid out strategic plan is never an issue that you must claim credit on. All that matters most is how are you able to fit in. And finally, too, it is not so good. I remember in the old English, I mean, is it Michael West or whatsoever, that we used to talk about self-aggrandizement. You came here and you're just trying, you know, to contribute your own quota. And that does not actually make you claim credit for what is on ground. I really, really want to emphasize again that I made a well-structured pattern of governance. Okay. And I'm just trying to ensure that we still keep pace with that.
How are you able to manage the multiplicity of projects that are going on with, as they'll say, limited resources that there might be?
You see, that's where the ingenuity comes in. And that's where that word, uncommon transformation, should actually come to play. Because you see, in life, it's not how much you have, but how well you manage what you have. And here, I see a situation where the governor had actually gone on a very selfless service. What differentiates an African leader, one from another, is how much selfless are you? What passion do you have for the development of your people? And if you actually check what we have on ground, it cuts across all facets of life, from human capital development, from physical infrastructure. And mind you, when this government actually came to power, they met some decay infrastructure on ground. So you must have that innermost passion for the development of your people, both in terms of human capital, in terms of infrastructure development, and above all, let what you actually profess to believe in be seen by the people. And I want to really say something here, that there is no average Akwa Ibom, both in Nigeria and outside Nigeria, that will not attest to the fact that the present government have done creditably well.
Sorry if I may come in here. I'm trying to ask how you were able to manage this project, because I know the governor has a lot of things on his plate. So he would expect that you would help him monitor this project and see to their completing.
Let me draw you there by giving you a live example. When I still keep hammering on structure, this is one place where in 24 hours we can actually achieve what a lot of people might not think is achievable within that set time. It still boils down. You see, whether you're talking about public sector or private sector, the management principles will still guide in whatsoever action you're taking. And in contribution to managing projects, you must have a guiding principle. And a guiding principle here is action and result. So we don't report efforts. Nobody cares about what efforts you put in. And trying to explain how I manage the projects, those are efforts. And I want to say here is, what results do we have on ground? So here we have a guiding principle of action and result. So the way you take action must always bring back the result, and goal congruence must also come to play. And with that, you also see that we're not just working alone, we're working with, it's a teamwork. And we have a common principle here also of what we call teaming for excellence. So an average person you pick from the exco, we sing the same tune, we sing from the same page of the hymn book, And that actually drives us towards the same purpose and same goal. I think that's where management of people, keeping people motivated, keeping people actually alert to their own responsibility is what has come to play here. And we're actually being able to harness that and get the result that we want.
Given the status of the state as an oil-producing state and where it ranks in the revenue profile of the country, do you think Akwa Ibom State needs to take or seek loans from banks?
Depending on, you see, loan is not a bad thing in the real sense of it. And it did not start today. Right from creation, there had always been one form of loan or the other. One person, if you look at my background from financial services, I could be a little bit biased. I mean, because I expect you to take loan. This is my personal opinion. And loan is never a bad thing. It depends on what you use the loan for. If the loan is actually taken and is put in something that will actually yield returns, mind you, in democracy, people talk about dividends of democracy. And as far as I'm concerned, if you actually put that back, even from the private sector perspective, dividend here could mean returns. And over there, people talk about returns on investment, returns on equity. So the equity here is probably what people are contributing towards the development of democracy. So if what you're taking the money to use it for is actually yielding returns and yielding required returns, so I don't see anything wrong in that. Because, and actually also, I can say so from the mindset that I have a privileged information, that so far, most of the loans collected by or taken or obtained by the public sector, really in Nigeria, really, based on the records, I used to have, really go bad. Because they are good, borrowers. And if they are good borrowers, it means that what they are putting money into is well managed. So I don't see anything wrong in taking loan. And also, it has also to do with what I call capacity. Because, if you look at one of the 5 C's of credit, people always talk about capacity. So you don't just go asking for money when you don't have need for money. Do you have capacity to put that money to proper use? Do you have capacity to pay back? Or do you have capacity to manage those funds well? So when people discuss loans, it's my personal opinion, and I'm a little bit biased from the private sector or from the financial services. I actually want to encourage. I don't see any developed nation today that is not in one way or the other having one form of loan or the other. Either a soft loan, a development loan, but it cuts across all facets.
Okay, I want to thank you for coming on. Dom Emmanuel is the Secretary to the State Government. Thank you for coming on the program today.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I want to thank you and good morning.
All right, we'll be back after this break. Please join us again.